Let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings welcoming in Kirk Cousins this weekend. You know, when we saw this game on the Week 14 schedule, wondered who would be starting it, right? For the Falcons, would you be wondering that question? Who would be starting it for the Vikings? Correct?
Vikings, yeah.
As well. Yeah. Well, I mean, the question about Cousins was, is he healthy enough, and is Penix going to be sitting there? Would they actually replace Cousins due to ineffectualness and things of that nature? And the answer, of course, is no. However, now it's come around, and Cousins and the Falcons have lost 3 in a row. The circumstances of this revenge, if you will, return game, because Cousins doesn't strike me as a vengeful person. I mean, what vengeance do you have when you're like, oh, they let me walk, and I got to go, and I'm making $40 million a year.
I got $100 million.
Why not? Right? And clearly they wanted me because they wound up losing a draft pick getting me through the whole tampering stuff. Right? But here are the circumstances. 3 losses in a row, wrapped around a bye. A deflating loss in New Orleans. It's always deflating when the Falcons lose to the Saints. That kills them. And then a destruction in Denver, like a no-show in Denver, and then off a bye, they were the ones who looked like they had just flown across the country on a short week. The Chargers looked like they were on a bye. And they picked off Kirk Cousins 4 times, and some of them were just Kirk's doing, not theirs. They were just standing in center field in the end zone and just saying, oh, I'll take that fluttered late throw over the middle. So Cousins was asked about coming into this game, coming off of the games that he has had. That's what he had to say.
It's kind of been a deal where this league and football and my journey is, it always kicks you down, and you got to find a way to get back up and find myself there again. I wish I would say it. I don't. I wish I could say I was in that spot, but I find myself there again, and have to just believe that tough times don't last. Tough people do, and you just keep going and pushing. And at some point, they'll tell you that, hey, you're not going to get another chance. Your time is up in this league. But until then, I'm going to keep trying to pick myself up off the mat and get back to work.
I like that. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. I kind of like that one. Have you ever heard that one?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, Scott Hall said that in his WWE Hall of Fame introduction.
You did?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Sure.
Hey,
I kind of dig it.
Shout out to Razor Ramon.
I mean, this is definitely not the circumstances under which he wanted to return to Minnesota, where Minnesota is 10-2, his team is 6-6, and in first place only because the equally 6-6 team has lost to them twice. In a game, by the way, that Cousins bailed out the team, I guess, for throwing 500 yards. They could use that 500-yard-a-game Kirk Cousins back, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. What about returning to Minnesota? This is what he had to say.
You understand, it's like a familiar place, but at the same time, this happened when I played in Washington for the first time back. I had no idea where the away locker room was. I had never been in there. So in that sense, I'd been to the Washington Stadium many, many, many times, but had never been to it in that way. Kind of felt like a rookie in that sense. So that'll have that same feeling, I assume, on Sunday, where it's, okay, I've been here many times, but in this way, this is the first. So there's certainly some unique experiences there, but at the end of the day, you're there to go play a football game and go play your best and win, and that's where your focus is ultimately.
I'm wondering if the fans are going to – they should give him the Vikings fans give him an ovation. What do you think?
Lost to Daniel Jones in a playoff game. Like, come on.
I think they will.
I mean, it's just Minnesota nice. Will they be Minnesota nice?
Well, Minnesota nice is kind of condescending and not really nice.
Oh, is that what you're saying?
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. The skull chant might be a little louder. They're 10-2. Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings, 10-2. And just circling back to the way that I described the manner in which the Falcons acquired Kirk Cousins, it cost him a draft choice. Cousins kind of made a reference to it when asked if he's still in touch with the head coach of the Vikings.
Kirk, have you stayed in touch with Kevin O'Connell much? I know you guys are both busy, but given how close you
are. Yeah. I don't even know the rules nowadays with tampering, right? So we've kind of been through this, Ben. I have friends in the league on other teams, so I don't know if friendships are allowed or not. But yeah, I do try to relate to people around the league legally, and I don't know. I guess if it's illegal to text your friend, then I'm sorry, but yes, I do try to keep in touch with a lot of people there, and Kevin's certainly one of them. You know.
Nice.
That's
2 drink minimum.
That's funny.
Huh? Tip
That's
your
funny.
waitress.
That's funny.
Try the manicotti.
They need it.
In the worst way.
They need it.
Kirk's season kind of depends on it.
You think so?
Kind of do.
Come on, man. They're not going to turn to Penix. Right now, it's one of 2 Monday night games next week.
Really?
Yeah. There's one last dual Monday nighter. One of them is is Atlanta at Vegas. The other one is Minnesota hosting Chicago. That's a good one.
How is Falcons Raiders not been flexed back to Sunday?
Because I don't know, because it's one of the Monday. It's 2 Mondays. I don't know.
Well, you can flex a Monday, I think, right?
I know you can, but it's too late for that.
Yeah.
And Tampa has Chicago. No, pardon me. Tampa has Vegas. So Vegas is going to play a role here in the NFC South over the next 2 weeks. So dare I say, a winnable game, as Vegas had the Chiefs once again dead to rights. Couldn't do it. And they also, believe it or not, in one of the, can't believe, every year there's a win where in December you look back saying, how the hell did that happen? Week 2 in Baltimore.
How?
The Raiders won it. Early window game. Came on out there. They were 1-1. The Ravens wound up being 0-2. So,
crazy.
Can't sit here and say, but if you want to chalk it up, Tampa's going to win that one. Atlanta at the same time, taking on Minnesota in this game. Mm-hmm. This is big. But they are not turning to Penix. They're just not going to do it. You're not going to turn to a rookie right now and say, go try and finish the season for us. Just not going to do it.
If he has 3 picks and they get routed,
still not doing it.
It's going to get loud.
Still won't do it.
It's going to get louder.
Great. Raheem Morris has the contract and the gumption to know what he needs to do to try and fix the problem. But they're not going to turn to Penix right now. You're just not going to do it. You're going to utilize Cousins' return to action where he used to play and use that to your advantage. He may not be vengeful, but he does have a pulse. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.